Yeah. I don't know if this is going to catch IG that much by surprise. I think they're expecting the IO duel in mid. But yeah, like you said, that it's with PA might be surprising. Still, like, this lane, it doesn't actually matter who IG put mid. They're not looking to rest Silence. So whatever they put mid is just trying to trade off farm. You see Ferrari immediately buying a pack of Tangos and selling it again. Okay, never mind. But he's just going to try to get a bottle here, and then he'll probably farm with waveform.
Yep.
And if there's any sort of rotation, if they choose to move the Shaker mid, maybe that secures him some more farm. And this bottom lane, the Phoenix, if Faith plays this well, Phoenix could actually stay very, very low level in this lane.
Well, we can watch him closely. For now, I kind of want to keep my eyes on Ferrari. The last 3 games of him that I've watched, Ferrari has not only just dominated the middle lane, he's decimated it. Like, we're looking at double the CS by 10 minutes. So I want to see exactly how far ahead he can get of Sylar here in the mid. Because currently he's already managed to find 2 denies up against his PA that just can't find anything. And he's lost control of the creep wave as well.
I think Sylar is going to need help, actually. This matchup is not PA favored. If it's not a big part of their... Let's say they had 2 cores, and PA doesn't need to get exceptional farm, then it's fine. But the way they've drafted, PA is their only scaling mid-late game hero. So if PA doesn't have a good lane, it's got some pretty big implications on what's going to happen a bit later in the game. So either they need to rotate and put the Broom mid, or they need to help out the PA in the long run. She's still doing okay, like she's 4-2, but the problem is this is the starting CS until Ferrari starts getting really good damage, and then after that she probably only farms with Stifling Dagger. And that's just not full farm.
But how do you rotate someone off LGD? Like, Xiaowei at this point has to stay up here to help out maybe, or else Luo is just going to come in point-blank range up against the Brewmaster and then just spin your heart away.
You could probably keep MMY mid for a bit, I think. He's just looking to stack a couple of camps here so that they have that, that as recovery later on to get good levels on either 2 of their supports or on the PA. As you see, Phoenix is currently level 1 and back to base, so everything going as expected in this bottom lane. Yeah. He's actually never going to get level 2 if IG play this perfectly now. He can't do anything.
It's like up on top lane, they will have a crack over at Luo. Xiaowei, he's got Wave of Terror and the Magic Missile. She's using the Wave of Terror first, so then maybe... Okay, this is a deep dive, taking way too much damage from the tower. Xiaowei just locked in a great Fisher block. Luo, one more attack's going to get it. In fact, he spins the last bit of damage and Brewmaster drops. Chuan, so quick on that TP.
That was perfect. That was incredible. So the reason this is a really good play isn't just that he gets the Fissure block, but it's that his exact TP position is the only way he gets that block. So he TPs aggressively to the top right of the tower, and that's the only path there is for this Fissure block, and he lands it perfectly instantly when he comes down. That was really, really good.
You might want to keep your eyes on bottom lane as well. Yao's already been cursed. He's going to have to just Icarus dive himself away, but he only just got back to this lane.
He managed to get level 2 though.
Small mercy. Yeah. Finding level 3 might be more of a challenge.
He has to go back again or use all his tangos. But so to explain why Silencer is like the best lane counter to Phoenix in the game. When you get hit by Last Word, you have 2 choices with Phoenix. Unless you skill Sunray in the lane, but you don't do that by level 2, right? So you have 2 choices. Either you use Icarus Dive, which gets you silenced, so you can't stop it again. So you will always return to your starting position. Or you cast Fire Spirits, and then you take the full silence of Last Word first, which is currently 4 seconds, before you can cast Icarus Dive, and that's 4 seconds in which the enemy heroes can hit you.
Yep.
So it's an incredibly hard lane matchup, and when you're in the dire offlane, it's even worse, because then you have less opportunity to find experience. And you see Faith with the lane ward down here keeps complete tabs of Phoenix, and Yao is actually just stuck in this game. He can't go anywhere. And as a result, he might have to get experience from the stacks in the jungle to ever get level 6.
But are you really wanting to do that? I suppose there's not many other options, so maybe they are forced to do it. For me, I'm more concerned about the fact that LGD don't have really a way to get through these stacks. Like, with Spirit's going to be one way to do it, with the Wave of Terror helping, maybe a clap from maybe. But Phantom Assassin, you're not looking at any kind of cleave until you get something like a Battle Fury. Besides also running this as a solo mid-PA, and is a BF really what you're searching for?
Maybe, actually. If he keeps farming as well as he is right now, I think it's definitely a possibility.
possible, but underneath that tower, this time there's no TP support, but with a stick charge, he's still not going to die. Meanwhile, Vengeful Spirits, in fact, dying up on the top. Morphling will die behind the tier 1. Are they going for a second? They're looking for maybe. Chuan's got Vision back off cooldown. Cancels the south. There's another call, plus the Battle Hunger. Chance of survival is very low here for maybe. Maybe, well, okay, there's Luo, no spin. But they're able to get the kill. So a double kill on the top lane for the combo of the Axe as well as the Earthshaker. And they're TPing the hell out of there.
Uh-oh, John can't. He's pretty dead.
He could have purchased himself a TP though. So now he will.
Do that now.
Free gold.
This is pretty big for LGD to get Silo these 2 kills. So now he's probably going to be almost topping. He's actually topping the net worth over Burning, who's currently 11 CS ahead. So these 2 kills, really big. The build up for the Battle Fury, the reason I kind of like it in this game is, as mentioned earlier, he has to be very farmed this game to be able to outcarry the IG lineup. So I think a greedy build up is very nice if they can still get away with the early game, and so far they're looking okay.
He's going for a little bit more of an earlier fighting build. Like with the PMS plus the Ring of Aquila in for Sylar, this is going to be a bit of a delayed Battle Fury. I got nothing against it because he, like, with the rotation up to top, finding kills, he's managed to find 2 already in 6 minutes. So it's still quite possible for him to reach the Battle Fury. Just, okay, MMY.
Oh wow.
Tether back down again.
Ferrari didn't even have vision up there. I'm not sure if MMY just walked down the stairs a millisecond then up again and Ferrari knew he was there, but that's a pretty aggressive waveform. But I think it's a good play. Ferrari just needs to pressure MMY as much as he can. MMY currently sitting on a regen rune that he really doesn't want to use until Sylar gets initiated on, so he can just keep him running really easily with the tether. If Ferrari can force it out, it's really good.
Xiaowe's about to die. And potentially MMY as well. They're going to loop themselves around with this smoke gang from IG, so Chuan, Faith, as well as Luo, searching for the target. And they're actually scouting out the stacks, as well as Xiaowei moving up. Where's that silence? Fissure as well from Chuan. It's going to reach, as well as the Curse the Sun and the Battle Hunger, so that'll open itself up for a dunk. They still came here for a reason, which was to try and take these stacks away from LGD. Or at least force them now to farm it up, because they know it's known.
Uh-oh, Chuan. The creep wave finds you there.
In fact, creep wave blocks him there.
That's pretty unfortunate.
How did he get aggro? How did he get aggro in there?
The creeps have...
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So I can't remember exactly how it works with fog, but the creeps kind of have like... I think either they see him there, but there's also something with like creeps having map hack to an extent, where if you're in the fog, if they're close enough in the aggro range, they will still aggro you, even if they can't see you. I honestly can't remember the exact way those mechanics work. Sometimes they've seemed a little bit iffy, but it could just be, you know, bias in the situation that you feel like they don't work like they should, but they actually do.
It's like one of those questionable mechanics we saw yesterday, where you throw down a sentry ward for one side and the Ancients came in and de-warded it because it had vision already from another sentry ward. Yeah,
the neutrals having true sight from sentries is really weird. So if, for example, if there's a Sand King on the Radiant and the Dire team put a sentry down in neutral camp, the neutrals will start hitting Sand King in the Sandstorm.
Looks like Chuan's going to end up dying here. With a fissure, there was the Curse of the Suns going over on Yao. He is not going to Icarus dive. In fact, he's dead. This assassination's going to fly in. They kept him silent. So it's Phoenix for an Earthshaker as a trade-off.
That's 4 intelligence so far for Faith, and I think it's more about Faith not gaining the intelligence, but the enemy heroes losing it. So Phoenix is a hero who has fairly low mana pool relative to the cost of the spells. So Supernova costs 200, and the Spirits cost 110 on level 4. And you see Phoenix's current mana pool is 286. So if he dies 2 or 3 more times to a Silencer gank, he actually won't have mana for both his spells. That's a problem. Then you have to itemize for it. And that's, you generally don't want to itemize for lack of mana just to use your spells once.
Especially if you continue to die and you continue to lose intelligence.
And it's the same with Brewmaster too. If they can kill him a couple times with Silencer, then he's also going to need to itemize for it.
Well, at least Yao's now going to find his levels, as with the Fire Spirits, that's his way of farming up these neutrals. Well, these stacked camps. But he's being watched doing it, and they have no desire to contest it, because the Axe is also finding a large amount of farm. Axe has Blink Dagger 9 minutes and 30 seconds in. This is almost the exact same time that IG was able to achieve it in the last game, in their previous game for the D2CL.
Dire's bottom tower is
But in
under
that case,
attack.
they were using more of a
Bottom lane burning. Doesn't have assassination as it looks like. He actually did have assassinate, but he didn't cast it because Phoenix can outrange it with Icarus dive anyway. But he forces him back
Dire's
to base.
bottom tower is
Keeps
under
dominating.
attack.
Rotation now from Xiao to get some XP and gold on the bot lane. But I want to say this early game for IG going way better than LGD's.
yeah.
And the Axe offlane is really the biggest winner so far, I think. He went offlane. He's 3-0 with 40 CS minute 10. That's really, really good.
They're coming for your home right now. The tier 1 tower in the bottom lane it's minutes numbered. Actually, not even minutes, more like seconds. All they'd like to do is just get one jump, bring one player down. Surprisingly, they're attempting this without putting down the normal observer ward on top of the cliff.
Yeah, do they have one? They don't have any wards.
Sean doesn't.
They can't really ward. I don't know if they have anything in
Radiant's
store. They
Yeah,
actually
they
do
got
have
one in
wards in
stock.
stock.
Under
I got one in
attack.
stock.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, but they just tried to do a smoke gank without any kind of vision because they put both their other wards, like one's in the dire jungle and one's watching mid lane. That's where their vision is. Should flag the fact
Dire's
too that
bottom
maybe he
tower
has
is
picked up
under
his blink
attack.
dagger, or should be picking up his blink dagger in a
Radiant's
moment.
top tower is under attack.
And he has Brewmaster split, so they could, if they want to, LGD
Dire's structures
contest
are
bottom lane.
fortified.
But at the same
Dire's
time, without
bottom
MMY
tower is
having
under
relocate,
attack.
LGD getting the
Radiant's
better of the
top tower
positioning in
is
this
under
fight,
attack.
I don't know if that's really possible. But they're going to try it on top. Maybe buy your blink dagger before you die. Like, okay, there he is. Yeah, no,
Radiant's
still doesn't
top
purchase it.
tower has
Global
fallen.
silence will be there, and he'll buy the blink dagger just as he's dying. Up on top.
He's still got the tower. I think this is... I don't know, this is an even trade more or less, and maybe was pushing it alone. So the reason it's an even trade is that this bottom lane
Dire's
tower for
bottom
LGD gets
tower
denied.
has
So
been
each team
denied.
gets one tower, but
Radiant's
LGD's
middle
gets denied
tower
and
is
they
under
pay a
attack.
Brewmaster for it, who already had his blink. So considering how much time IG spent on that bottom lane, how many heroes they rotated, that was not really worth it. And LGD analyzed the
Dire's
situation
top
perfectly,
tower
just
is
kept the
under
Brew top,
attack.
knew that if they needed to kill him, they would need to rotate multiple heroes and or use global. And that's exactly what happened. And Sylar, I think, was just farming mid meanwhile, so
Radiant's
Actually, a
middle
lot
tower
of,
is under attack.
I want to say pretty big advantage for LGD in the last minute and a half here.
But what does it really turn into? Because I'm still looking at ING ahead in the net worth as well as the experience earned by 1.5 and 2k respectively. So where is all this farm? Where is all this money going into? What timing is LGD searching for?
I'm actually really surprised looking at the graphs that it's going more up for IG than LGD there. They did deny the tower. I guess that kill on Brew was just worth that much. It's just a little surprising for me that this one kill was worth more than all the tower gold denied, but well.
Well, it was your
Guess I was
safe lane
wrong.
farmer. He's still a level 8.5 that you just
Dire's
killed off.
structures are fortified.
He didn't have a killing spree, but it's still a large amount of experience.
Oh, this is going to be a really
the
big
run-in.
fight.
Where are you going, Curry? It's delivering it. Goes into Ferrari. Good Nova position. IG burning, in fact, doing exactly what his name suggests. Faith will be able to escape out. There's no global silence to harm about the rest of his team. The Fissure flies in, but it's not enough of a space creator. The Brewmaster blinked and split so early that there was just no way for IG to get control of that fight, and they were
Radiant's
right on
middle
top of the
tower is
sniper.
under attack.
Great fight for LGD.
Radiant structures
Yao
are
making-
fortified.
So much space in that fight. Perfect dive into Quickfire Spirits and ult. Ferrari will still get the mid tower, but it's ultimately going to be a 1-for-1 tower trade here, as there's no way in hell IG can defend this. Looks like they might want to try to delay it a little bit with a fissure, but they're going to be too late.
Well, there is no Brewmaster split.
denied.
And Global Silence up in 2 seconds time. They're having a jump in. And well, burning. He's going to get pushed back straight out again. Rejected at the front. Faith also having to retreat himself out. Ferrari coming close towards LGD, but LGD have got what they wanted. They just managed to take 2 kills onto a sniper, plus extra change, and the tier 1 tower. Even if it was denied, I don't think that's really going to matter to LGD. They're getting a lot of map control.
Yeah, and if this is like the last exchange, then the fact that IG denied that with Ferrari, the trade-off of killing Burning is still better than not getting the tower denied, so... Yeah, LGD, they pretty much pull it back to even now. They're a little bit ahead on experience, but it's kind of negligible at this point how little this is. But it's more about what happens in the next 5 to 10 minutes, right? Because now Sylar actually almost has the Battle Fury if that's what he wants to buy. He's... Oh, wait, he's still about 1,000 away, actually. It's gonna be
We're
fairly
relocating.
late.
We're going up towards top. Chuan, well, he's got a little bit of help behind him. Maybe he's trying to initiate in here, but MMY is going to get assassinated out. They do still get the kill over on Chuan, but it kind of isolated them out a little bit too much. Brewmaster will drop. And Yao just has to Icarus dive.
Going to be like a 17-minute Battle Fury, which isn't that fast, but you need to remember he has Treads, Poor Man's Shield, and Ring of Aquila, so going for a very early stat build-up here, where
Radiant's bottom
if you go
tower
for the very
is under
fast Battle
attack.
Fury and you get great farm, you can get
Dire's
like
top
minute
tower
11 with
is under
boots, but
attack.
with all of these extra
Dire's
items, it will of
structures
course
are
get delayed a bit.
fortified.
Yeah. But it's understandable that he did this, considering you're running an Axe with the Earthshaker and Silencer. You're going to be moving around trying to find ganks. And there's no way PA can be involved if he's going a raw Battle Fury. He'll end up just
Dire's
falling
top
apart.
tower is under attack.
LGD also just smoked on top of an Observer Ward, which is why IG is backing the hell out of here.
Yeah, this gank is pretty much bound to fail. Ferrari might get swapped, but he can just wait for him right now.
Actually, I was trying to wait for it so that Zhao Wei can come in for the stun. Well, that didn't really work. Ferrari can't strength more fast enough, and the Fissure didn't buy enough space.
I actually think he would have just lived if he waveformed straight down the lane and Chuan could have just fissured for him, but he tried to go for waveform into the fog there. I don't know if he was expecting being able to TP. He might have misclicked actually, where he wanted to waveform and start TPing meanwhile. I just didn't get it off, and Venge easily stuns him, and they get a kill they maybe shouldn't have had there.
I think it was also a nice positioning coming out from Zhao Wei. The fact that he went further down inside the
Dire's
lane.
bottom tower is under
So
attack.
Morphling, I don't think he really had a choice but to go for the Fog of War. Because if he just kept running down the lane, he would have been swapped and stunned.
Well, he was swapped already. That's how the fight initiated,
Yeah.
right? They initiated by swapping him in, so if he waveforms down, they can get a Venge stun. Oh, speaking of Venge stun.
Yeah,
they,
Axe. Whoa. Don't know if you really want to be trying to fight that one, especially with the relocate coming in. Sylar's the one who's brought in. He's still got a Stifling Dagger. Nice Fissure. And Sylar, well, he'll throw the dagger out, maybe. He's got his clap. He's baiting out a couple of times. The assassination's coming the way here of the Brewmaster, trying to look for the stun, and Zhao Wei swapping the axe away, so he's incapable of going for the dunk.
very nice swap by Xiao. The prediction there. I think maybe might have called out that he was getting assassinated. Can of course see it on his status bar. And the moment it was about to hit, Xiao swapped him away and secured that kill on Axe. And they're going straight for Roche. If they can get away with this, this is a really big win. These are the kind of fights that win games, where you get a kill, the enemy team tries to fight, they couldn't, they lose another hero in the Axe, and then they lose Roche too. So this one pick off on Faith became way more valuable than it should have.
It's extra insurance. The Morphling Replicate can't slow him down, so Roshan into the hands of LGD. Brewmaster will in fact be the one to take the Aegis the Immortal as opposed to Sylar.
Dire's middle tower is under
That's a
attack.
little surprising, considering
I don't know
he's
if he needs it,
Splitmaster.
really. Well, the nice thing is, so if the fights break out the way I was imagining before the game started, where he tries to blink, clap, split, and they global, then he still has a second chance in that team fight. So with that in mind, this is actually a nice choice for that type of fight. But if you get the standard type of fight where Brew gets split off, he's a pretty poor Aegis carrier. But I think this is to ensure that they will at least get the split off in the next big fight.
Right. So next target for IG is a smoke movement to go into the Dire jungle. Unfortunately for them, there's no one there.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Maybe
under
they're
attack.
expecting Sylar to go back up there and start farming. Now he's got the Battle Fury. But as they do so,
Radiant's
the
bottom
Vengeful
tower
Spirit takes
has
out the bottom
fallen.
tower. The Vladimir's almost done over on the Brewmaster. So Aurasak's life is looking so much better for LGD. And Sylar's
Oh, I
getting to
like
a point.
this.
Sylar's getting to a point where he's going to get his next major item soon.
Yeah, he's doing very well for
Dire's
himself,
top
3-0
tower
with
is under
103
attack.
CS, so it's looking good.
Dire's
I really
top
like the
tower
choice of
has
Xiao to buy
fallen.
Midas this game. I think buying a Midas on both the Venge and the Phoenix is going to be a great choice. Now that the early game has worked out the way they want, they still need to ultimately win the late game at some way. I don't think they're far enough ahead to just finish the game off minute 30. So the Venge might need to get a couple of
Radiant's
hard-hitting
bottom
items
tower
to
is under attack.
complement the PA, or a
Dire's
lot of
top
utility
tower
to
is
just make
under
PA a
attack.
monster, like a Vlad's.
Dire's structures are fortified.
A Vlad's and maybe an AC on the Venge, something like that. That's very expensive, but definitely doable when you have the Midas built up. So I like this choice a lot here.
An investment for the
top
future.
tower is
Right
under
now,
attack.
LGD, they still need to find money in other ways apart from a hand of Midas. And that's going to be from Wisp and PA taking over the Radiant jungle. They also managed to move back and defend up on top. So with the pressure coming into the tier 2 tower, where there was just over half of the HP removed from that tier 2 tower, the second burning TP down, LGD realized they could get control of their own jungle again. Which is kind of funny when IG leave two very aggressive ward positions inside the Dire jungle, trying to keep tabs on what LGD is doing, while LGD have done exactly the same thing, one of these being dewarded now in the last seconds of its life. It just feels like LGD is able to freely move and control more areas of the map. And IG are trying to contest them. Like, they smoke ganked up on top, now they move aggressively into their own jungle. But they keep getting scouted out.
That ward is really good right now.
Is that enough damage for Ferrari?
Oh, relocate mid?
Yeah, too late. Ferrari jumped up to his replicate, which is in the top river.
They did force out a global though, which I guess Ferrari actually didn't need, but just for safety here from Faith, globaling when the relocate came in.
Considering Ferrari's only 200 gold or so away from having his E-Blade, I don't blame him for having safety first.
Oh, this is fine. Now the question is if LGD are going to use this Aegis, because now they know Global is on cooldown. And I think that's such a crucial ability for IG that if I'm LGD now, I try to push the bottom tier 2. And it looks like they will be doing just that. They're rotating down the Venge, the River, and the other heroes are pretty much almost already there. And maybe can play so aggressively. He wants to use this Aegis anyway, which is expiring in a minute and a half.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah, this
is
tower
under
is definitely
attack.
gone. IG have no interest in defending it. The question is, can LGD get a secondary tower in maybe the mid lane?
I think they can get to the mid lane in time before the Aegis
Radiant's bottom
expires.
tower has fallen.
But what are you going to do? Force out the bottom? You're going to find yourself in a fight which you don't want to take. Even if you
He
do
still
have the
has a
Aegis
good minute and 15 seconds on maybe's Aegis. Or they can also just relax and farm. Like you said, they're controlling the map pretty well. They know their PA is getting a lot of farm. Maybe can play so aggressively because, as mentioned, still has the Aegis, so in the bot lane if they try to gank him, they won't really get anything out of it. And well, looks like they will, well, they are pinging the tower, but that was a defensive ping from the Radiant. So I think they're expecting the push to come, and doesn't actually look like it will.
LGD aren't having a bar of it. Maybe when this BKB is done for Silo, they'll have a crack, but for now, it's play Mudder's advantage. It's just play patient. It's keep IG moving around the map, searching for ganks, wasting their smoke, and keeping burning at a point, because that's one thing which I'm not even feeling the influence of this sniper. For a 9.5k net worth, it's the highest over on IG. I'm feeling like the Morphling's going to be more effective considering Ferrari's finished up that E-Blade of his.
For a while, yeah. The thing is, Ferrari has that one burst, and then what does he really do after that, right? He can pick off one target, but when it comes to the consistent damage, Morphling does not have it yet. Oh, well, he does, but he can't reliably stay in the fight against a PA and a Brew. Where a Sniper can stay at a long range. So I think over the course of a fight, you'll probably find Burning will deal more hero damage than the Morphling will, but Morphlings will be so much faster, and if he can find a key hero, like especially the Wisp would be the kill, that makes PA so much weaker, and Morphling is actually completely able to jump onto that Wisp. There's almost no counterplay available for LGD. They need to instantly Venge stun when he jumps on the Wisp, or else Wisp is just dead.
Well, here they go. Middle lane, Luo for the jump. Turns on the Blade Mail. Silas hurting himself pretty badly here. That BKB still coming out the courier, but it's way too late. The Global Silence helping him out. Silence gets the pickup. Into now the Nova. Buying space for LGD, but Ferrari doesn't really care. He waveforms in very, very deep next to him. And why? To kill off the poor little Silencer. I mean, the poor little Vengeful Spirit. There's the Brewmaster split over towards Burning. A little bit of trouble for him in the middle because they're coming in close, but then again, when you have an E-Blade from Ferrari, the Whisk just goes down. I don't think maybe he's going to escape from this one. Even with the Echo Slam off target, maybe he keeps getting headshot by Burning, and there's no way to escape. It's a full team wipe going the way of Invictus Gaming, and all they lost was a Silencer.
Yeah, this is what happens when they get a good jump. LGD were not in a position to take that fight, though. When your PA gets jumped and dies before the fight starts, you should probably just get the hell out of there. But they actually chose to try and fight 4 on 5. And, I mean, at the end of the day, risk-reward ratio, just not really worth it, right? The chance that you win that fight 5 on 4, I understand you have a Brewmaster and a Phoenix, but if anything goes wrong, you just lose multiple heroes. I don't know if they knew Ferrari had the Ethereal Blade. Because if they didn't, that might have probably changed their perspective a little bit. But this is a very, very big win for IG.
This will come in handy.
Yeah, that's huge as far as swinging that momentum back, because LGD were really grabbing the reins of this game. So they almost level up the kill count, get a small advantage with that one, and they're going to get ahead in the experience too. The fact that Burning is getting to a position where he can get his immunity items, that BKB starting to come up. Ferrari progressing through his items as well. Be it Manta, be it whatever. any kind of stat increase to help.
And the problem for LGD actually is when Burning has the BKB, the only way they really kill him for the brew, so he doesn't just get cycloned or zoned out by the boulder toss and the fire aspect, but once he has that, he can reliably deal damage from a distance. And with Ferrari also getting good farm, I feel like we're reaching that point that I was thinking about before the game started, where, well, if PA doesn't really take off and get far ahead, ultimately she now needs to beat a Morphling and a Sniper in a late game, which is pretty much inevitably going to happen now. So, if you look at the net worths, PA is ahead by 1,000 on the Morphling and by about almost 2,000 on the Sniper, but that's just not enough, right? Because Brood's going to fall off heavily soon.
Huh?
And even with all the overcharge in the world, you're still not going to survive against those two heroes when your BKB is over.
But the better way, just get the proper initiation off at the start.
Yep, they have to find a fight soon. I think the next Roshan is theirs, so that could be the start.
Well, how is IG even really meant to try and contest that? Like, you do have shrapnels, nice jump pins and such, but if that Brewmaster gets his split off and if PA gets a couple of good crits, and especially if he can get in range of that Sniper, even though Sniper's got 1400 HP, I don't think Burning is really going to feel very safe up against the Phantom Assassin. How do you really keep your distance away from Phantom Strike? Because he'll jump to one of your teammates that's trying to be that buffer, and then he ends up just being more like playing a game of checkers.
If they want to contest it, they definitely need better vision than they have. They have one ward which is expiring in 40, but it's not covering the important area here. The one they have, it sees more of the bottom lane, a little bit of the river, but it doesn't see close to the Roche pit from the top side. And well, looks like LGD. This is a very good play if it works out. Smoke gank into Roche. Since Roche has spawned, I don't know if they checked it, but they have a pretty good feeling he should be up now. So if they do get this smoke gank on Sean, which it looks like they... never mind, they changed their plans.
Sean didn't reveal himself until too late. They moved over towards the smaller camps in the mid, and yeah, this smoke gank's going to fail for them. They see Ferrari, but they know they can't kill Ferrari. Between Replicate, Strength Morph, as well as Waveform, getting any kind of gank on him is next to impossible with their heroes. Because they didn't have that, like that hero which you were suggesting during the drafting phase, having something like a Skywrath Mage. Having that seal, their own silence that can hold the Morphling in position. But now he's going to BKB. I suppose that Skywrath wouldn't help as much anyway.
I think, are you saying Skywrath for LGD? Because I think I was suggesting it for IG to beat the Phoenix, and then they got Silencer, which was also good. But you're right, for the other side, that's the same problem, actually. Like, they still have the problem with how do they control single targets when they have BKBs. That's what you pick the Brewmaster for. When the BKBs are up, he's just not that useful anymore. So they don't really have a good tool. What they do have for themselves is that the Supernova stun goes through BKB. It might not seem like the biggest deal, but it's still a 2-second really big AoE stun that Sylar can use to lock onto a target. And with Yao having the Yules, he can break out of Global Silence and then get a good Supernova off afterwards. So I think it's definitely possible for LGD to still take fights. Now with the PA with Basher and Aegis, it looks like they might be aiming for a fight very soon. Because if LG just sit around, like even though you see the Golden Experience is favoring them, I don't feel like they're leading the game. I really don't.
Is that just because you have so much confidence in the Sniper and the Morphling?
Yeah. When it comes to mid-late game, having Axe against BKBs is just so much better than Brewmaster. You've got Global Silence, which also goes through the BKBs. And then Shaker with a Blink Echo, which is going to be up in 300 gold, can also catch heroes off guard before they even BKB. So it's just, I feel like as far as initiation goes and just team fighting in general, IG's lineup, or LGD's was better than IG's, say, 5 to 10 minutes ago. But now we're reaching a point when they're on par, and then it's just about, well, who has the better late game? And for me, easily the Radiant. So it's going to be hard for LGD in my opinion, but if they can find a good team fight now, they have a lineup that's very fast at pushing too. PA hits very hard with Overcharge. They have the Vlads on Brew for the extra damage, and of course the Vengeance Aura. So the tools are there. They need to find the fight.
IG's not giving it to him. Every time they look for it, IG's moved into a different location. And probably the only way I think they can force this by trying to go out to high ground. Like, but that means you got to 5-man this all together,
with one hero, whereas LGD are running their entire lineup. And that means Luo can still farm the Dire jungle at the same time, so probably a slight net win there for IG, but it's such a small amount that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's negligible at this point. I think the only thing which really matters for this game is going to be the timing. Like, when do they try and get this initiation off? You can keep sitting back and farming up and going for these trade-offs, but I'm coming over to your way of thinking, Sind. I'm looking at IG and actually going up high ground against them is scary as hell, so you don't blame LGD for not doing it. But catching him out of position, that's even harder.
High grounding into Axe, Sniper, and Shaker is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And if that isn't hard enough, there's also Global Silence.
And the Global Silence is going to kill you once you try and dive back past the towers, because you're probably going to look for the kills before you think about the racks.
This could be good for LGD, though. This is actually a pretty good position.
Well, Ferrari doesn't have a replicate. He's actually lost his replicate now, so he doesn't have a chance for it. But then again, Xiao Wei doesn't have a chance to survive. The relocate will come. They look for Chuan. They will pick him off. Global Silence was used, but Nerve Shaker for a Vengeful Spirit was the trade-off. And that's all you had. The relocate was already used as well, and now you have to go back to the mid.
It took a long time for LGD to assist Xiao Wei there. He ran in, Venge stunned the Morphling. No one helped him, and he just died to a shotgun. That looked a little bit awkward with the communication there. Seemed a little bit slow on the engage, but yeah. Ultimately, it's a 1-for-1 trade. I think LGD with a little sharp execution there could have maybe got a 1-for-0 or maybe 2-for-0. So that's actually a kind of big deal. They will probably still be able to take the 2-2 off this, though, and I'm guessing IG will just let them. Unless, well, they might try to defend as it looks. Ferrari without BKB, he's walking on top of a ward right now. This is actually pretty scary. But they could hold. Looks like they will indeed.
Top tower is under attack.
LGD aren't taking the risk at the moment. Sylar does have the full Abyssal Blade, and he's got the Aegir, so... Like, there's no reason why they can't take the risk. There's no reason why they can't.
I really feel like they should be taking this tower with overcharge on the PA and just have her hitting it. And then if IG try to engage... I mean, they have everything, right? They have the split, they have their BKBs, they have Supernova, and the enemy team doesn't have Global. They should know that, because Faith used it on the relocate. So I feel like how much better of a chance are you going to get as LGD in the next 5 minutes before your Aegis is gone?
Well, both BKBs only just came off cooldown. Like, when we were saying they should be pushing the tier 2 tower, they still had 10 seconds left on the cooldown of both the BKBs. On
the Aegis is actually gone now in like 10 seconds. So I feel like that's just an opportunity wasted. Now they're going to need to wait for the next Roche, and that's... Guess what? That's just going to mean more farm for both Sniper and Morphling.
I'd also say it's going to be the next timing for IG to smoke gank it up. They know the Aegis is gone. They know the timing for it, so just group and kill. And in fact, it's LGD who are doing this smoke. And again, it's this 3-man combo. The Brew, the Phoenix, as well as the VS. They searched for an opening before on the bottom lane and couldn't find it. This time they're going directly into the small camps, but... IAG sitting up next to the Ancients, and they're sitting as 5. So this smoke gank won't be successful. The Observer Ward scouted out Chuan. It's going to see Burning as well. But are they really wanting to take a fight? Well, I know there's a relocate available.
Oh, Chuan. Oh, whoa, what a blink.
Yep. That relocate is going to be completely wasted. They break the trees and IG is gone.
For a counterplay. This could be... I think LGD are just going to get the hell out of there. This could be good for IG if anyone sticks around. Looks like they might. Now with relocate down, if they catch them right here,
their Observer Ward sees it.
It's actually going to take a while.
The gem is going to be allowing it to deward primarily because they put themselves that ward in the same position. But Xiao Wei caught out. There's your E-Blade attack. The Culling Blade a little bit too early there. In fact, the E-Blade made it so they couldn't just keep attacking him. And then maybe jumps in with a BKB. They're looking for Luo. Wait for that PA. She crits on the coup de grace, but it only came from the Stifling Dagger. Phoenix Nova. Just more of a zoning ability at the moment. This is a 1-for-1 trade-off.
That's a really nice disengage by IG. I feel like they came out ahead big time there. Sure, you trade your axe into Avenge, but once again, for them, it's all about taking these trades and being okay in the fights. And they had Supernova used, they had Brew Split used, and Ferrari had a replicate top lane and just started farming a bit. So ultimately, they didn't really lose anything. And LGD lost time, and they used BKB on the Brew, I think. They didn't use it on the PA, though. So that's a nice play by Sylar, holding on to that. He didn't really need it.
He did most of his damage on that Stifling Dagger.
But no BKBs used by the Radiant. And that's going to be important. When a game goes past minute 50, who has the 8-second BKBs and who has the 5-second ones? often determines the outcome of a game.
I still don't want to class this game as over until, like, even when we do hit plus 50 minutes and IG have so much power on the sniper and the morphling. Because I'm looking at Sylar, and this PA should not be underestimated. The amount of damage he is capable of achieving during a fight in such a short space of time, that's what gives you such a huge turnaround. Where IG feel like they got the fight, and then all of a sudden one crit for 1600, and you're looking at a sniper and a morphling who have a beast stick of life and have to get the hell out of there.
Well, LGD can win this game past minute 70. Like, it's not that they can't win, it's just that the margin for error becomes smaller gradually.
They found Faith. They've also found themselves a courier if they can. That's got a gem, that courier. They actually picked up the gem from the silencer and gets itself away.
Dire's middle tower is under
what was I saying? The margin for error just gets smaller because IG will have more and more items, and it's all about the BKB timing. And Brewmaster is just a fact this hero falls off, right? And the BKBs, even the Brew split itself, is going to be so weak that Sniper and Morphling can just destroy it. So the longer it goes, the stronger PA obviously gets, and her crits scale so incredibly well that you can solo core win a game with PA against 2 or maybe even 3 cores on some occasions. But the thing is, any single mistake from Sylar, and he gets caught and they have nothing, right? Then the fight is lost. If Sylar dies, the fight is lost. Whereas for IG, if Sniper or Morphling dies, they can still keep fighting, they can buy back and reset the fight and re-engage around the middle part of the map. Especially when BOTs become a thing. You can say Sylar will also get BOTs, but he has the weakest hero when BKB is down. I think he's just going to get controlled completely by the Radiant. And even when it's up, there's still Berserker's Call, which, because Luo gets 40 armor casting that, he actually isn't even going to die that fast to the crits.
Well, we'll see if you're right as we get nearer the future, but for now I'm also watching Maybe, who's got 4.4k. So sure, PA may go down quickly if you're gonna get E-bladed, but once you got the Satanic up and running, and if you got something like an Assault Cuirass buff up for LGD, they're buying themselves a lot more potential for these late game fights. We do have the full butterfly now over for Morphling, so it's gonna be a bit more problematic for Sylar to in fact attack into that Morphling.
He will be getting MKB as his next item, I think, before he gets the Satanic.
Is there any real choice?
Well, the nice thing about PA is she has a built-in crit, so the whole dilemma with should I get Daedalus or MKB isn't really there. MKB is just a better choice in like 99% of the cases, so I'm pretty sure
my only question mark is the Satanic. Like that, do you just try and solo him up? Is the Satanic even worth it for this game?
Yes, it is. He will be getting Satanic, but he'll get the MKB first after using this Aegis. I think that the full item build for Sylar will be Boots of Travel, BKB, Abyssal, Satanic, MKB, and then maybe he sells his Battle Fury for, say, maybe a Butterfly if he feels like that's worth it, or even a Rapier, a super late game. He could do something like that, or a Scotty.
Is this next level warding from Faith? He put an Observer Ward just above the top rune area, but he 4-staffed himself up, TP'd himself out, so he could get this ward into position. So it cannot be seen by... is there any ward that'll
really
even see that? Because you're walking around with the gems, so you're trying to protect your ward positioning. Nice jump in. They've caught out the Brewmaster. Global Silence as well. In for the E-Blade, but he had cheats on the Brewmaster. Triggers it off, and now Luo is in way too deep. They're going to find their pick off on the Axe. As Morphling left him for dead.
If they find Burning, this is the bigger kill.
He's going to BKB. The Abyssal Blade's up, but they're not going to get there in time to trigger it.
That's still a BKB used for IG. So they traded BKBs, one from Brew for one from Sniper, and they killed the Axe. So that's a pretty good fight here for LGD. They might be able to force a buyback even if they try to go high ground here. They still have Brew split, they still have Aegis.
Middle tower is under attack.
But is IG going to give them the fight that they are kind of searching for? They're going to be slowed down. Comes your Shrapnel just to cause Sylar some problems, but MMY just bumping him up as much as he possibly can.
Middle tower has fallen.
And that beat into the melee ranks. So it looks like they're going to let it happen. Because on bottom lane, Ferrari is trying to push the tier 3 tower. He's not going to move fast enough, and there's your Echo Slam. Big jump in by Chuan. Maybe so low. He's going to go for the Brewmaster split out as Sylar initiates over on Chuan. The Vengeful Spirit attack will in fact kill him off. But he just took the melee ranks. Ferrari working very quickly through that melee on the bottom, and this is going to be almost a full trade-off. He hasn't got it properly though. You also it up and towards the air. But he may as well finish the job. There's not enough of LGD coming back to stop this. In fact, yeah, they're going to lose the full bottom racks. Maybe in Xiaowei are trying to retreat, but LGD just cannot fall back in time. Even Phoenix in fear has noted himself.
Yeah, this is the advantage they got from Chuan's initiation there. I think part of the Echo Slam was, of course, wishing that they could win the fight, but the other part was just delaying, right? Stalling out LGD, forcing them to use their split and try to take the fight while Ferrari takes the bottom lane. So it's a Rex trade. Who died on the Radiant? I think only Chuan died with that Echo Slam, so a pretty even trade overall. LGD, they're still getting more and more gold advantage, though. I'm surprised they got that much gold out of this with Ferrari taking the bot Rex. The graph might not have updated yet.
No, they patched that, so the graph will now update at the end of every single kill or major objective.
How the hell did they get that much gold out of it, though? They destroyed... So, Ferrari destroyed a Rex more. That's more team gold. Since he got the ranged Rex too. And the only hero they lost mid was the Shaker.
Yep.
So how did LGD get that much more gold? I'm a little confused.
I'm not sure myself.
Did they get... Did I miss anything? Did they get like a lot of farm, like a stack somewhere, or...?
No. They didn't even look. There wasn't an ancient. They didn't kill a courier. Both couriers are up for both sides.
It's starting to be a substantial gold lead for LGD. It could also just be the Midases coming off cooldown at the same time, and they used 2 Midases. Looks like that actually was the case. There's a little bit extra there too. And they are, of course, going to start playing a bigger and bigger role for LGD. You see Xiaowei sitting on 3.4k gold now, so he could start building a big item up. And the Phoenix currently working on what should be a halberd, I guess, with this Sanj. Or actually just got the Sanj and now an ultimate orb, so could be looking for, just I don't know, a refresher? No, not a refresher, what am I talking about? Yeah, side, I guess.
Seems the better approach. Morphling's going to escape from the rest of LGD, as he was scouted out inside of his own jungle. But LGD are bringing the full wave down that bottom. They want to force this now. Yeah, Global Silence is up, but at this point, they need to try and get that counter Rax up bottom, or else they're going to be forever split pushed by the Morphling. How long?
40 seconds on the Aegis. Is there a glyph for IG? There is not. So this is actually the perfect timing for LGD to go in. This is the play they need to make.
Salah's already got his personal Aegis. He's already finished the Satanic before he did the Monkey King buff.
A little bit of an adaptive strike out on Sylar. Doesn't really care too much about it. He's going to keep going in. There's the call, though.
It was a bit quick swap out. Xiaowei making sure there is no initiation on Sylar. They got the tier 3 tower, and LGD trying to force this. The assassination plus E-Blade. MMY is still able to survive this one, and Chuan. Sylar just jumped and turned on the BKB, and the Blade Mail's going to have no effect in this case. Venom Strike in. There's a triple kill for Sylar on Ferrari. He's at least able to find one, but it's only the Wisp at this point of the game. Ferrari pushing back Xiaowei. He doesn't have E-Blade, doesn't have an Adaptive Strike available. They're going to Magic Missile. Well, there's your Adaptive Strike. Waveforms over the Magic Missile. But we should be keeping our eyes pretty closely on Sylar. He might have lost the Aegis, the Immortal. That Gem of True Sight's just still sitting on the ground. I think Sylar's going to be the man to pick it up. But they didn't take out the Rex.
They got the Radiant mid ones, though. So while all that was happening, they did finish off the full lane mid. They got the tier 3 tower bottom, and they managed to get out, only losing their 2 supports. I'd call that a win for LGD again. The gold is pretty much what it was before. They also forced out, let me see, was that 2 buybacks? No, 1 buyback. They bought back the Axe. Shaker bought back way earlier. So I'm guessing, that's what happened in that mid fight. Chuan bought back. That's why they lost all that gold earlier.
Yeah, that would explain it.
Yeah, LGD with a pretty big win here. They've opened up the bottom lane. This means when they get the next Aegis, this is probably a second lane of Rax. So now the question is if IG wants to try to put some pressure on and prevent that from happening and maybe fight in the Roche pit. I feel like if they just let LGD get every single Roshan of the game, they're going to ultimately lose at some point. Now with the Scythe of Vice up on the Phoenix, Yao is starting to become a real threat here. The Hex is crucial for bringing down a hero like Morphling. PA can't miss on the Butterfly then. And alternatively, they could Hex someone like Silencer so he can't global, or they can Hex the Shaker when he jumps in so he doesn't even echo. There's a lot of plays with this Hex in the game that could win the game for LGD.
We're going for a blind smoke from IG. They don't have any vision on the dire side of the map. The only observer what they have is this Radiant one, which is sitting on top of the cliff, which is in a rather unique position. That's the only bit of vision it has. But they're not going to find anyone from LGD, because LGD are hovering around the bottom. They still want to push out this bottom lane, which is, I'm surprised that IG aren't searching for the kill down here. They leave an aggressive observer ward inside the dire jungle. Yeah, well, if at first you don't succeed, smoke and smoke again.
Well, they gained some intel there. They can probably narrow it down to LGD are most likely in our jungle. This is going to be a very
It's
dead
the worst
Xiao.
hero they could have found. But they wanted a core. They didn't want Xiao 8 for a double smoke.
Oh, they really get in.
Wait, what?
Let's try this.
They're actually going in for this one. MMY so low. The Phoenix Nova trying to buy some space. Ferrari just turns on the BKB. He's not attacking hard or fast enough, which means Xiao will come out. This gets the start. All the space in the world for the Phantom Assassin. It's an ultra kill for Sylar. The Morphling, the only man to escape out of here. And this will just be a push for glory. LGD through the bottom lane, and IG, not the fight they were looking for.
Yeah, I was really surprised LGD got away with that 4-on-5. So they lose the Venge, then they choose to engage into a team that still has global silence. Ferrari uses the shotgun on the IO and brings him down to like a 10th of his health, but they didn't finish off the Wisp. MMY never died in that fight, and that's the difference between a won and a lost fight. If Wisp dies there, I think LGD lose the fight, because then Sylar isn't mobile enough and doesn't hit fast enough. But with MMY barely staying alive, they got all the time in the world, like you said. Phoenix got off a good supernova that Ferrari tried to destroy on his own, but he was attacking uphill and missed like what seemed to be half of his attacks.
Yep.
So, also a little unlucky there. I don't know if he would have got it anyway. And that fight was just, wow, LGD getting away with a 4-on-5 fight like that. The only thing they used in the engage from IG onto the Venge was the Berserker's Call, I think, and maybe the shotgun, but it got ready again. Worth noting too, though, Chuan's blink failed. He didn't blink Echo. He got stopped by something, and that would have been another turning point in that fight for IG. So LGD keeping good tabs on the Shaker as well. Playing a really good fight there.
It kind of felt too that LGD got just done into a choke point. When that Vigil got thrown out as well, it just got really claustrophobic all of a sudden on that ramp. And LGD couldn't get in close. Like the fact that Ferrari was the only man in range for the Nova, like, I almost want to say the positioning from Yao was also perfect, because he sat basically around here, and then the rest of IG is still trying to push up to the high ground. Now, I think that's the only reason why LGD were capable of winning that fight. Really? Okay.
Okay. Well, BKB Abyssal Satanic, well, it is really good, so...
I'm not going to shy away from having 2 permanent stuns which you can get through a BKB, like activatables, plus the double Satanic.
And you can reactivate your Kudakas too?
You're not fucking me with that 1 cent. I already sent you a message before saying I don't know what's happening this morning. Like, my level of brain fart, I could be Mr. Methane as a caster right now for some of the crap I've said during this game. But
It's all good.
You're not getting me on that.
Oh, that's the 4th, I think, Roshan of the game for LGD.
Yep.
They've now accumulated more than a 20k gold and experience lead, and I'm really surprised that they're staying ahead as much as they are in this game. I was pretty sure that IG's draft would ultimately collapse on them and they would get a good team fight, but LGD have still not really lost a big team fight since the one, I don't know, how long ago was that? 20 minutes ago? They've pretty much led the game the whole time with their Midases.
Well,
just the raw farm coming in is just way too much.
And what is IG even really meant to do about it? Like, the split push is kind of like their only strength they had, which was really nicely displayed as well by Ferrari when they ended up going in for that trade-off with the bottom racks for the mid melee. Like, that was fantastic. You saw the strength from the IG lineup, but where the rest of the other heroes from IG really come into play? Like, how do they keep LGD at bay and stop them from farming every single portion of the map? Because Sylar just walks through, and it doesn't matter how big your creep wave is, he takes 1 swing and you've lost your momentum. Yeah, that's a Xiao pipe. Chuan jumping in. Nice vision with the global silence. They might be killing off Sylar at the moment. And yes, they will. He couldn't actually get the Satanic off, but he's got no way to get back to the front lines at the moment. Maybe he can buy those VTs now. With the Brumar split into a Nova, they've got a little bit of space. And Lure, yeah, that's trouble for him. Phantom Assassin, wait, okay. He's back.
Yeah, they ported back MMY and relocated him in.
That's the way to do it.
Well, if he dies again now, Sylar, this is a really big problem. That would be a dieback, but they do get the Morphling who's buying back as well. They will try to chase Sylar to the ends of the earth right here. That's the biggest kill they could get.
Problem is,
looks like
they need
maybe get out.
They need more control. Ferrari jumps in, he's going to get Hex, and Sylar just turns around. There's your crit. Ferrari's going to drop. Faith will go, and this is GG. They've lost too many players, and Bank Earnings just get smacked.
Get wrecked.
Oh, that's just rough. That's rough and dirty.
That was a really nice mid-game from LGD. The early game was slightly won by IG, but they never managed to accumulate enough of a lead, and ultimately when this push comes in, having items like a pipe on the Venge, all of this adds up, right? They blocked pretty much the entire Echo Slam. The only thing Echo Slam really did was stun up their targets, and sure, they do get the kills, but they get them that extra bit slower, and all of those small advantages that they gathered with their double Midases just accumulate to too much in the end. Phoenix got really big this game after. You saw how much he struggled in lane. He was like completely out of the game for the first few minutes, but still manages to come back strong and get way stronger than the Radiant offlaner in Axe, so yeah. Impressive game from LGD, and they do it in exactly 50 minutes, too, with style.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can do it in style for a 2-0. The Grand Finals coming up next after we see the winner of this game, of course, when they go up against VG Gaming, and that would be a remake for LGD. They're the ones that got knocked down from the upper bracket. IG has had to fight their way through that lower bracket, taking out eHome previously. So let's see if IG have what it takes to also save the rares for the kids at home. 70% of people actually bet their rares on IG. So if you bet for LGD,
That's surprising.
Well, it's because IG have just basically been tearing apart the Chinese scene of late.
I guess it's also the star power. When you have a team with Burning and Ferrari, for example, then you have a lot of fans, but
at the same time, you got Zhao 8 and Sile and MMY, maybe Yao.
Yeah, the two teams are so star-studded that I don't even know